So gang stalking is a super deep rabbit hole, and it really done a lot for me wrapping my mind around it and contemplating it. So there can be basically like paid forms of gang stalking, where it's like big corporations or like anyone with a lot of money, is you can employ people to stalk people, basically. So like the government, like kind of how they killed Dr. Sebi. They'll have agents list like the people who do the shadow banning and the fact checking type of shit like that. But I've like expanded the definition where like I don't just mean that people actually know that they're gang stalkers. It's that like people can be unconscious gang stalkers. Like so, I was programmed, for example, I told you this before. Like for example, to ridicule. Like I was filled with beliefs. You know how you say that we're repeating and regurgitating beliefs that are not our own? We were programmed by the system and by society with like a peer pressure. And I actually almost defined that social peer pressure as gang stalking, where it's like we're inside of a cult and we are being gang stalked by the entire cult because they just like keep on perpetuating like the status quo, and we've like migrated to the ayahuasca ceremony by becoming aware of it through the screen because people have filmed it. So like we have done research into other cultures, so therefore we've almost like migrated our minds to a different culture, but we're still inside this culture. So like we're surrounded. Gang stalking is just like it's like basically it's what is trying to assimilate you into the hive mind, where like so I can say there's unconscious forms of gang stalking as well, where like so you know how everyone is programmed by the TV, and then they go around like regurgitating and enforcing those programs. That I define that as a form of gang stalking, where they basically get hijacked by agenda AI or by the TV and shit, and then they actually become a matrix agent. So I think you've used that term before, like there are agents for the matrix, and it seems like all the NPCs defend the matrix. That's because they've been installed with the matrix programming, and I was as well before. So like I told you, when I was really young, my dad questioned the shape of the earth, and I was ridiculing him and laughing at him, taking a piss out of him, because I was programmed, because I was watching like Kurzgesagt and shit, these scientific channels, as I was growing up. See, I'm getting gang stalked by Kurzgesagt, who and they have to say certain things in order to make it as well. Because if you tell the truth, you will get censored by the gang stalkers. So Kurzgesagt was gang stalked into gang stalking, and then they like gang stalk me through the screen and turn me into a gang stalker who then goes on to gang stalk others. It's like contagious ideas, and it's kind of like the cognito hazard things as well, where it's like it's basically self-replicating programs where like programs get into people and then they go about enforcing those programs, um consciously or not. And maybe that's not exactly how the quirks because that thing went down, but it's mm, like but yeah, just like how like I went on holiday and there's loads of sausages and bacon everywhere. I find that a form of gang stalking. Like when I go to the shop with them and they will only take me to a Matrix shop because they've been programmed by the Matrix and they don't care about health. So when I'm with them, if I want to go to the shop with them, like they only go to the Matrix shops. And I even said that to them at one point, like, because I don't give a fuck anymore. But I was just saying, like, it's almost when I'm with you, I'm not being gang stalked because you're not programmed like that. In people's business. But that's basically that's what Payday seems to think is happening to him at the minute. Is basically he was sticking his nose in people's business about 9/11, and then like these men who were set on censoring the truth, like how they killed Dr. Sebi and Black the Ripper, for example, is Payday is sticking his nose in the dirt with the 9/11 shit. And perhaps because of his lack of spiritual protection and that, is now he reckons he's being gang stalked. And also, there's a lot of solid research you can do on this. Last night, I was going down this rabbit hole of remote monitoring, where like it's all this new advanced technology and shit, or like remote neural modulation and shit. Where like I don't know like to the full extent of it, but it's like the internet of bodies where, get this, yeah. So if you search remote monitoring, there's something that it seems to be coming online over the past like 4 years, which is basically they reckon it's a medical intervention. It's the medical mafia and the sickness industry, big pharma, big food, big media, etc. All the same gang stalking geezers or the same cult sort of shit. Anyway, what I'm saying is yeah, so the remote monitoring is basically there's these new devices of the Internet of Bodies where basically it is framed and it is presented as if it is here to help everybody, but it's actually the mark of the beast. Where you, if you research that term, what it is they're installing Fitbit-like devices around the houses of people who are sick. And they say this is so that we can monitor your sickness without you actually having to come and see a physical quote unquote doctor. But this is all under the assumption that, like, it's kind of this medical mafia shit of like, oh, you're sick. Good thing that we can help you with this digital surveillance. But they make you sick. It's the sickness industry where it's like, for example, Neuralink and the transhumanism agenda, AI, that whole thing is like, oh, if we put this chip in your brain, that means you can control a prosthetic arm with your thoughts. So it's framed as if it's supposed to help you. They always do it like that. With COVID, they've done the same thing, innit? Oh no, everyone's sick. Good thing we got the solution. But they make you sick. So they make you sick and then they install devices in the house to monitor you so that you don't have to go and see a doctor. But this is, again, this just this AI bird's eye view surveillance grid of the New World Order. Stuff like that. It's like gang stalking is a super deep rabbit hole, but a lot of it is basically there are people who are employed by the government to make sure that everything is under control. And if anybody awakens, you become a targeted individual. Like Traumatic says, don't make yourself a target because they never miss. Piss them off and then they push you off a precipice. They're basically like, in order to keep everything under control, they have to ensure that nobody wakes up. And when anybody does wake up, that is why you now, Katie, since you've woke up with the psychedelics and doing the research, etc., why is it that all of a sudden it feels like basically you get targeted by all of the NPCs, right? It's like people actually defend, like if you try and talk about your awakening, all the NPCs are defending, like when I'm talking about the food, when I'm on holiday with my family, they're all defending their paradigm. And I don't really understand what they're defending because there's nothing really there in terms of like, they're just on the path to sickness. And that's what I mean. It's basically like when we were NPCs, that is exactly where they wanted us. And notice how that is their machine working. The propaganda worked, it had us brainwashed. The COVID shit worked, it had us going down that route. We were eating what they wanted us to eat, and everything was under control, yeah? Why is it that as soon as you wake up, it feels like all of the NPC hive mind turn on you? That is gang stalking, because they are being gang stalked by propaganda. They are looking at that screen all the time. That screen is telling them how it is with sacred symbolism and like little subconscious subtle like affirmations and things like that. And then everyone is looking at that screen all the time in their isolation open prison. And yeah, most of it is propaganda overload where everyone is listening to, like, even people like Leo. I was listening to Leo, yeah, in isolation for 2 years straight, yeah. And then that actually gives me programs. And then I go about imposing those programs on others. Therefore, I actually become a gang stalker myself, whether I know it or not. It's a program that is aimed to get into you and everyone. It, like Payday has a lyric, he goes like, using a science that's been known for millennia, carefully crafted precisely home to get in here. It's designed to get in here. The TV programs are designed to program you, and what's happened is everyone has been programmed, and now everyone is walking around enforcing those programs, and that is a form of unconscious gang stalking. But there is also actually employed gang stalking where you actually get people sitting outside your house with devices, trying like what Phil thinks that people are following him and shit like that. Yeah, that's what a lot of gangstalk can be. It's like when I started researching it originally, I got very suspicious about these random vans that pull up at the front of my fucking house. Or there's people who reckon that they're literally getting voice to skull attacked by nanotech shit, where they're like, they've got like nanotech in their body, and like some man reckon that they're literally having their thoughts fucked with advanced technology, and they're getting like attacked by fucking their injections and the invisible frequencies. And yeah, Payday talks about it, how they can pick you out of a crowd in type of thing, because that they can monitor you with advanced technology. Like if they get nanotech inside of you with sensors, they can get you up to like the internet of bodies, and then they can monitor like what you are actually physically up to with the internet of bodies, with devices similar to like the Fitbit, but you can actually have like under the skin surveillance with the injection and things like that. But yeah, for me, it's the peer pressure. Basically, everyone is peer pressured, because like at the top, it's like literally a gun to someone's head saying 2 + 2 = 5. Believe it, or I'm going to blow your fucking head off. I'm going to kill your family, right? That's at the very top, where that is a peer pressure. 2 + 2 = 5. I'm peer pressuring you with a gun to your head. Believe it, or you're fucked. And so they then actually they get peer pressured into doing it to their peers and their tribe and that, and it's like it's a where the peer pressure you feel from the NPC hive mind to eat the shit, to eat the bacon, and to drink the tap water, they were peer pressured into thinking like that and enforcing and believing things like that. And then they go about it all stems from peer pressure. I've been reading your messages, so it's throwing me off a bit. But yeah, that's it. Don't forget about maybe uploading your reel to. Yeah, I think I thought you was listening to those. I listened back to some of the ones I sent about the gang stalker, and it's just a thought as well. Like, you notice how, like, what the fucking NPC hive mind thing does is it like when I went on holiday, I get cornered, and they're like, "Oh, eat some flesh." And you got cornered earlier where you're thirsty, yeah, and it's like, "Oh, I've got a 7-Up." That's what it does. That's partly what I mean by gang stalking in a way. It's like everyone who's kind of infiltrated by the propaganda shit, like they're always drinking poison and that, and it's like if you go and hang out with them, man, like it's just like how everyone is like, oh, like everyone's always trying to give you things like a 7-Up, ain't they, or trying to feed you rotten flesh. Why is that? Why is there a force that me and you are opposing where it feels like the whole world is trying to put toxic shit inside of us? Why are they doing that? Well, the only reason that they're on that paradigm is because they were brainwashed themselves, innit? So it's like they're brainwashed into brainwashing everyone else. And it's like, it's a very weird feeling when you start to feel like when you entertain these ideas of like where it feels like the whole fucking hive mind like turns against anybody who awakens, kind of. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, I just thought about, yeah, it's like I need a drink. Oh, here's a 7-Up. It's like, why is it the only thing that's available ever? Especially when you're hanging around with like, because you're awakened, yeah? So when I hang out with you, you're not offering me 7-Ups, are you? No, you're not. And then as soon as I leave you and I go and hang out with the NPC hive mind, they're offering me bacon and sausages and tap water. Why is that? It's because they're still plugged into the motherboard, but you ain't. It's that type of thing where like anyone who's plugged into the motherboard is going to offer you a 7-Up.